It is a perfect time for a break. There's no doubt about that. Welcome in. This is LAFC Plus, episode 71 of this great show. He is Mario Ruiz, my co-host. I'm Dave Denholm. We are part of the LAFC radio broadcast on the English-speaking side, and we bring you this podcast each and every Thursday. LAFC Plus. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts, on all your podcatchers, all those things. Plus, you can go to the YouTube page of LAFC. Check out the show there. We really appreciate you leaving comments, subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. Give the thumbs up, the likes, everywhere else. Every place is blowing up with this, Mario. We love it. Thank you so much. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, a lot of new followers around all the social media platforms and all that. So we're all feeling this Sonny effect, of course, and everybody at the club loves it, right? So I just want to give out my social media. That's I am Mario Ruiz. I am Mario Ruiz. Dave, you have your social media as well. You're around the team as well, just as much as I am. So if you want to give out yours.
Dave_Denholm, like my name, on Instagram. On Twitter, it's the my one handle I've had for what seems like 30 years now, is @TalkSoccer. So yeah, check us out on our social media. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we're around the team a lot, all the games and the training facility. And Dave, of course, you call all the games and I interview a lot of the players. So you get a lot of unique insight from the radio broadcast aspect of the team. And I'm just enjoying the break, just like you, Dave. It's been a while since LAFC has had a break. So this is definitely more than welcome for you and I. I know you feel the same way.
Well, it felt like a break just to have a game once a week. That felt like our first break when we didn't have them Wednesday, Saturday.
That does feel good, yeah.
Just going down to once a week felt great for like that 3-week stretch in a row on the road, and then you followed up with getting back home at BMO Stadium, beaten in Son Heung-min's home debut at BMO Stadium, 2-1 to San Diego FC. That was I'm not gonna lie, that was a kick in the teeth. Let's just put it that way. LAFC again, Mario. They get the early goal. Denis Bouanga set up from the beautiful pass from David Martinez. Great finish. Denis just kind of the one-time kind of clip it over the keeper and leave CJ Dos Santos stranded. It's 1-0 again, pretty early. But again, they let their opponent back into the match, and this time, and then some. We saw it against FC Dallas. They got a quick goal. Nobody else got anything that match, the 1-1 draw. This one, it goes very similarly in the sense of not that early in the match, but early goal for LAFC. San Diego ties it up before halftime, and then they get the goal to win it in the second half. So, yeah, disappointment all around. And I'll tell you what, we'll start there. Son was maybe the most disappointed, it seemed. Being new to the team, right? Still looking for that, obviously, the first home win because it's your first match there. You don't want to disappoint the fans. I think he probably felt it as much or more than anyone after that final whistle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was very emotional after that match, almost in tears, it looked like. He was there at the center of the pitch after the final whistle, just staring into the stadium and just going through his thoughts and what should have been. And I'm pretty sure he was hoping that he would have bagged one of those goals because he did have a couple of shots on goal, shots on the post. So any of those go in. Denis Bouanga had some chances as well. But I think that's been the difference, right, for LAFC, is just not being able to finish those chances. And then San Diego being able to finish the few chances that they did get. And I think that Mikey Vara just has that team just playing very, very confident, very stubborn, like all year long. They just do what they do. They don't budge for anybody. They go down a goal, they're up a goal. It does not matter. They're going to do what they do. They didn't try to park the bus when they went up late in that game. It seemed like San Diego was just going for another goal. It didn't seem like they were just trying to park the bus and trying to secure the win. And that's how they've been all season, all season long. It's been working for them,
Yeah, credit to them. They know who they are. They know what they do, and they do it pretty well already under Marky Varas. And that's a full credit to him and his coaching staff, too. I'm starting to sports hate them a lot. I got to be honest with you.
That's good, though. It's good for the league to have a team like that in its inaugural season come in and do their thing like that. That's great.
And, you got to give them credit. The reason the sports hate is growing is because they're beating us. Bottom line. They swept the season series, took both games from us, so you got to give them credit. Yepi Verskov, the dynamic number 6, just an incredible player, frankly. So
Yes.
let me lay it out here. For any of you San Diego FC fans who listen, and I know there are a lot of you, because LAFC Plus is LAFC plus the rest of MLS.
Mm-hmm.
Verskov is a great player, right? Not a good player. He's a great player. But he plays the game in too cocky of a way for me. Like, it's going to bite them in the rear in the playoffs. You watch. He's going to make a big mistake. He's a little nonchalant. He likes to play like he kind of, once he gets comfortable and he's feeling good about himself out there, which is quite often, frankly, he's having a great year. He's going to give away a ball in a bad situation in the playoffs. I can just see it coming. I'm sorry. I don't wish it on anybody. I don't. I'm just kind of joking about. I mean, they're so new. How can you really sports hate them that badly? Although I'm getting there. But he's just annoying, and it's going to end up coming back to you. This is what happens in sports, right? Everything's going great for you. Your debut season. They're feeling good. They might even win this. They might win the Supporter Shield. There's no doubt about that. They're right there in it, and they could do it.
They're there, yeah.
They're that good. They could come back and get, step on the old rake in the backyard, get smacked in the face in the playoffs and be out. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. That's MLS.
It's almost
right?
like these teams that get off to a season-long, just awesome start.
Sure.
You almost, if you're that team, you almost want to take a little bit of a dive or a little bit of a bump in the road, like towards the middle of the season, because you don't want to take that at the end in the postseason, right? You don't want to do that in the playoffs because it's so hard to continue this form of play and be this good all the way to a championship, to raise a cup, to get a trophy. That's very, very hard to do. But as we've seen in the past, like St. Louis, they have a great season, they get into the playoffs and they just stink it up, So I don't know if that's going to happen with San Diego.
Yeah, St. Louis was on a pretty heavy downslide, like not just a couple games going into the play. Like they were really struggling for a while. We haven't seen that yet from San Diego, certainly. No, there's a few more games. They got a handful of games left, right? But one thing I'll say about this, though, with San Diego is they're also on a 7-game road winning streak, not unbeaten. That's not impressive. 2 wins and 5 draws or 3 wins and 4 draws. 7 straight wins on the road. They've got 10 road wins in their opening season. So what that tells me is they're going to go into the playoffs as probably the number 1 seed, maybe even in the West, right? Let's say they are. They're going to lose the first match at home to the team that's the 8 or the 9 seed that win. They're going to go on the road. They're going to go on the road being one of the best road teams we've ever seen in MLS history, and especially in their first year. I mean, they're shattering records. Some of those were set by LAFC, by the way. And they're going to lose 2 straight. They're going to lose at home. And they're going to be like, well, we can go on the road. We've done it all season long. And they're going to go on the road, and they're going to play their worst game of the year. And Verskov's going to have a bad turnover, and they're going to lose in 2 straight. You watch. Mark, that's just how MLS is. And again, I don't wish it on. I mean, Verskov is a really great player. He probably won't do any of this that I'm saying, but he's just that good. And again, I'm not really even wishing it on him, unless, of course, LAFC were somehow playing him in the first round. If, maybe it's a 4 or 5. I don't know. Maybe something happens where we're playing him the first round. Then I'll wish it on him. But it's not going to be all roses for them. More importantly, Mario, I really believe that LAFC are still feeling the effects and trying to get over the effects of the Aaron Long injury. I don't know if you see it that way. And it's, again, defense has not played badly by any means. I was
going to say there's been a lot of players that have stepped up. Tafara has stepped up. Yeah, a lot of new acquisitions have came in and filled in the spot as well. So,
but it's more just
Aaron Long is some big shoes to fill. Yeah, he is the captain.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's more the continuity of stuff that's been thrown off a little bit. And I know we've had some other. The suspension to Ryan Hollingshead, maybe some other little things that have been tweaked. So it's not just the Aaron Long injury, but that's a big factor, and again, guys are playing great coming in. Like, we can't ask for much more than what guys have done, but it's just still like you're not completely comfortable, it seems, back there anymore. Like what they were kind of building, of course, with Aaron Long and Eddie primarily getting the starts in the center. And of course, Hugo Lloris has been very good all year, great all year. That's no surprise. But yeah, I think that's really affected him a little bit. And again, it could be even bigger than on the pitch. Like you said, he's the captain too, and so I think we're still working through some things. So we got time here. I'm not, by any means, am I worried about too much here. I still don't think the performances have been that bad. Like, yeah, you're going to lose some games, and Of course, you never want to lose at home, and we have suffered 4 losses at home now. But it wasn't like San Diego was dominant. That just doesn't happen against LAFC. You know what I mean? Like when we lose, it's kind of like, yeah, full credit to them. They do what they got to do, but it's also kind of like we don't play great when we, like if we play well, teams are not beating us. That's the bottom line.
LAFC have played well, even in the 3 road games. Whenever Son came to the team, LAFC played well in every single one of those games. They played well against San Diego FC, who is a solid team, of course. But just the finishing hasn't been there. The chances have been there. Other teams put the couple chances, they put those away. LAFC have a handful of chances that they don't put away. So that's been the difference. And that's a huge difference between where they're at now in 5th place in the Western Conference to where they could actually be. They could actually be one of the top 2, 3, at least the top 4 teams in the Western Conference if you put away just maybe 3 of those goals, that should have been goals. So it's very tough to kind of, criticize the way LAFC have been, playing as of late, because they have been playing well. It's just got to find the back of the net, and that's easier said than done, but it is a huge factor of where you're at in the standings, and it plays a huge part of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, and especially in this match, there were a couple of opportunities that were more clear-cut maybe that usually we're going to bury. Not just half chances, right? So in this match specifically, but in other matches, you're getting a lot of shots off, but we've talked about it, Mario. And I think this has affected Son, by the way. This is where I want to start when we talk about him.
Yeah.
There's a difference between getting a bunch of shots off with 15 pairs of legs in front of you because the 10 defenders are back and they got their legs out, and like everybody, your own teammates are in the box trying to get open, and it's just, there's a difference between trying to put shots on goal that way than in the run of play when it's maybe 3v3 or, even 3v4 or something. You can still find space if you're a good offense and you have the players that LAFC does. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's happening even with Son, okay, he's had some chances, certainly half chances. One of them, he rocked the side post of this match, but it was still through traffic. Like there's still, these defenses are hard to break down against LAFC, and they're playing well, don't get me wrong, but it's difficult to beat 8 guys in the box all the time trying to get,
You look at a guy like Anders Dreyer in the last match when he got his breakaway chance and he was going 1v2,
2 or 3, 2.5.
Yeah. He made that. He converted on that one. He is a man on a mission this year, and you can just see it. You can see it in his eyes. You can see it when he's dribbling. He's on a breakaway. He's on a mission. He's hard to contain. He can kill you with an assist. He can kill you with scoring goals. Ever since he's arrived with San Diego, I heard that he demanded the number 10 jersey. He wanted the number 10 shirt. He deserves that, right? So he's been killing it. But that's the difference. I mean, maybe he doesn't have all the attention that maybe like a Denis or a Sonny will have just yet. But he's starting to get that attention because of how well he's playing now. It's
the way teams are defending us as a whole, too. They know what they have to do. They got to defend. LAFC will tear you apart if you're not careful. But it is the case. I'd almost rather at times be 2v3 than 5v5 in the back, if that makes sense. Just in terms of more space, especially with the type of players we have. They can beat 2 guys. They don't have, if you got the opportunity and the space and you can kind of exploit that, I'd almost rather at times do that. And frankly, teams are not going to give us that. That's the bottom line. They know better. So you just have to work around that. You got to find different ways. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately for Son's home debut, Mario, let's give a grade here. Let's how do you feel so far? I mean, do you want to grade it on that match or the 4 games
I want to
so
grade
far?
It on, since we're at this international window here, kind of sort of for most of the league here. I know there's a couple games this weekend that we might get into this weekend, but
maybe not.
Son Heung-min, maybe not exactly. After looking at those matchups, Son Heung-min has been here for 4 games with LAFC,
4 matches,
right?
Yep.
And during that time, LAFC have 1 win, a loss, 2 draws. Sonny has a goal and assist. And he drew a penalty also, right, in the box.
Yep.
But I'm thinking, what grade would you give Sonny so far in these matches? And I'll give mine first, so you have time to think about yours. I'm gonna give him an A minus. Since the first few minutes that he came here with LAFC, that first match in Chicago for his LAFC debut, he started to contribute like right away. Right away, you saw him doing his thing. It didn't seem like, oh, he needs to adjust to MLS. He needs to try to, somehow gel with his teammates. Immediately, I think he was the best player that was on the pitch. He was making his mark on the match. And it's been like that, right? For every single game for Son. Now, for the A minus, I could have given him an A plus, but for the A minus, there's two reasons why. Because him and Denis haven't really gelled quite yet. Him and Denis are the ones that I'm just waiting for a little bit more that magic, that excitement from those two playing together. And I'm confident that's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. But I think learning each other's, spacing and runs and tendencies and stuff like that, that's going to come. And then the second thing that has me giving him the A minus is the fact that the wins haven't really been there like I would like.
5 points from 4 matches. Yeah, 5 points from 4 matches.
Exactly.
And he knows that. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you.
If he finishes a couple of those chances that he had as well, or Denis as well, then those could easily been 3 wins out of the 4 matches, which would be awesome. So just A minus for me. I think that's fair. A minus, not a bad grade. It's actually a great grade for somebody coming from a whole nother part of the world, whole nother league, joining a new team, learning the league. A minus, I think, for Sonny. How about you, Dave?
I'll tell you what, Mario Ruiz giving Son A minus to the first 4 matches. You're the college professor everybody wants. You're giving out the easy A's, Mario. Holy cow. I wrote down B.
I'd love to hear yours.
I wrote down a B for Son. Now, here's the funny part, though. If you just heard what Mario said in terms, I agree completely with all the things Mario said, meaning he's playing great. He's fitting in very quickly, although, not perfectly clicking yet with his teammates, which is fine. But because it's only 4 games, that's totally understandable. So I think Mario is exactly right. But his assessment in terms, he's just an easy grader. And I'll say why. Because here's the bottom line. Mario mentioned it briefly, the points per match. Okay, that's not on all Son. He hit some posts, right? He got some shots that he missed just barely. He hit a post. He missed one by inches. If those go in, that's an A. I mean, that's just the bottom line. That's professional sports, right? They don't. And then you drop points because of it. Now, again, he's playing great, so those will eventually go in. Those things average out. But right now, I'll give him a B for that just because those did not go in. And again, keep getting yourself in that position. If you're Son Heung-min, you're going to bury those constantly. And eventually, you're going to get up to an A plus is the way he's looking, in my opinion. Eventually it's just going to happen. Right now, I'll just give him a straight B. Because those didn't go in yet, and we didn't get the wins because of it. So I think I'm being a harsh grader in the sense, but I also see that he's an A-plus player. Like, that's just the bottom line. Like, it's going to happen. There's no stopping this guy. He keeps working hard, which he always does. This is just stuff that isn't automatic with a guy like Son. That's been his whole career. He's going to just destroy. I mean, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And, he's an A-plus player. There's just no 2 ways around it. So he hasn't got to the A-plus level in terms of getting the results or the ball going in the back of the net yet. That's all. So, but I'll grade a little harshly, and I'll say a B, just because I want to see.
And there's
those
a lot of pressure on Son too.
Exactly.
Son's had a lot of pressure and a lot of distraction. There's a lot of media hype. There's a lot of media at each and every game.
Yep.
He's throwing out the first pitch here and there. He's doing the Good Morning America here and there. He's doing all kinds of things, but he's still making the main thing the main thing.
Sure.
That's
the
what's
good news
great
is,
about Sonny.
Look, the distraction, right? There was a lot of distraction when Giorgio Chiellini came and not on the same level. I don't mean that, but those guys are used to it.
They're used to that. Yeah, they know how to deal with this. This is nothing new to them. Yeah,
it's not really going to affect him per se. It's a lot, and there is a lot of distraction, and there is a lot of things that there's a lot of commitments. There's a lot. He's been doing that for the last 15 years of his life. So it's not. Yeah, it's a different level. And it's hard because you're moving to a different country, like a whole new, he was comfortable there 10 years plus in London, so yeah, there's a lot going on and off the pitch, but the good news is these are the kind of guys that can handle it, and have handled it, so it won't really affect him. But I mean,
he cares more about the winning. He cares more about the winning, as you could tell after that San Diego game. All he wanted was to just beat San Diego FC, this team that's in their inaugural season, this MLS team in first place. Of course, he's probably just getting to know them, but he doesn't care about throwing out the first pitch. He doesn't care about doing all these interviews. He just wanted to beat San Diego FC, and that was great to see him so emotional after the game.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what else I like? I like the fact that he's working his tail off. There's no doubt. He always does.
Oh, yes.
Always has. But I like the fact that he has to. It bodes well for the league, too. People always, we always defend MLS because we think it's very underrated, frankly. At least I do. I don't want to speak for you, Mario, although I think you agree. You've said as much, and with some very good points about it. But I like the fact it's not, ever easy for these guys anymore. All these type of players, like certainly there's very few players on Son's level that come in, but Lionel Messi plays here. Now, I know Messi, he chews up everybody, right? And that's just the way he's been since 18.
Oh, yeah.
But, Thomas Mueller and guys like that who come in, they're going to play well. They're going to do very well. They're great players, tremendous players, World Cup winning type. But it ain't like they're just going to run over everybody. They got to get used to it too. This is not 1996 anymore in the first year of MLS here, folks. I mean, this league is vastly underrated in terms of week in, week out, all the things that go along with that. I mean, look at Son's first 3 road trips all over the map. Probably each one of those trips, I would imagine, is way farther than he ever had to make in England. Now, there might have been some Champions League games Tottenham was involved in that maybe, they probably were longer distances in terms of travel, but not that much and not very often. So, I mean, even in his first 3 weeks, those are some real road trips, and that stuff has to be accustomed to. You have to get used to that. And kudos to him. He's handling it amazingly, but that's not very easy for these guys. Even the great players, they have to get used to those kind of things.
He's definitely been working hard since the first game, and one of the things I noticed is the way he presses and the way that everybody else, it kind of rubs off on everybody else.
I agree.
It's just running nonstop. His pressure, the way LAFC presses is a little bit different now. Like, they've really been pressing well, especially against San Diego FC. Now, San Diego FC was doing a pretty good job of breaking the press, but I also thought LAFC was doing a good job, and Sonny is one of those guys that knows how to press. And you have to work hard if you're going to know how to press well, like Sonny does. He pushes them to the side that he wants to push them to. And you see David getting into the press as well. Denis, of course, always a workhorse. So I'm really loving that. The fact that he's working so hard and it's rubbing off on everyone else, top to bottom on the roster.
Yeah, my last thought is very similar to that I was going to talk about with this. It is that press you're talking about. I actually thought that was one of the best games of LAFC pressing up front that I've seen this season. Here's the thing. I loved it, San Diego handled it well. So many times, if LAFC were to press exactly like that in every game, they're going to get a lot of goals out of that. It's just that San Diego handled it very well. A lot of teams don't. And
equally impressed with the way San Diego handled that.
Yeah.
My goodness. Like, they were,
it was a great press. I thought LAFC pressed really well. And it's just like San Diego is that good, and sometimes you got to just tip your cap to them. They never really, because I got to be honest, I can sometimes, I know this sounds stupid, but the longer you watch, we all know, even as fans, the longer we watch, you kind of know when things are coming. You kind of feel
you see it. You do that often.
What's going on. And I was kind of feeling like
you've called it in the game. You said, I feel a goal coming here. And then boom, a couple minutes later, it's there.
And that's not, I mean, everybody can, we all, if you're really a fan, like the vast majority of us are, certainly of this sport and MLS, if you're listening to this pod, like, I think you're a really good fan of the sport. You can kind of see those things coming. I was wrong. I thought LAFC was going to get a goal on a bad turnover by San Diego. I really did, because they were pressing really well. They were in the right spots. It's just that sometimes your opponent's just going to handle it better And that's what happened, and that's ends up being the 2-1
I was really
loss.
impressed with San Diego that night. Just to watch them like that up front, right there at BMO Stadium. I mean, they just put all the California teams on notice. LAFC, Galaxy, San Jose Earthquakes. They beat all of them this year. 2 times already beat the Galaxy. 2 times, sad to say, they beat LAFC. They already beat San Jose.
Oof,
They're going to play San Jose at the end of this month. If they beat San Jose at the end of this month, that's a sweep on all the California teams.
Man,
not even like a draw on the road. Those are wins against all the teams 2 times. That's
even if you drop that game against San Jose and you get 15 points out of the 18 they would have been giddy to get like 9 points out of that. Just get
that's impressive.
3-3. Like they would have been giddy at the beginning of the season to break even on that. Like just 500. Sure. Oh my goodness, to get to 15 already, and with the opportunity of going perfect, that's disgusting. But I'll tell you this: if any other time LAFC, if they're going to press exactly like that, it's a goal. Yeah. There's going to be a goal against a team that can't handle that. And if we play San Diego again in the postseason, very possible. I still think we can get a goal off of that press. If you press like that as well as we did. I really do, because also you remember there's the pressure of the playoffs all of a sudden. There's the pressure of being that, such a great first season. We felt it in our first season and lost in the playoffs because of it, right? I mean, we were a great team, but it's still your first real chance in the playoffs, right? I know some of the players
playoffs are
in San Diego
different.
have handled it.
Especially knockout games, right?
Been around, but not most of these guys haven't. Andres Dreyer doesn't know what the MLS playoffs are like. Chucky Lozano hasn't experienced it. And again, I'm not saying they can't handle it, but I'm saying it is more pressure than a regular season game, even as big as this one was. So if you
have to be almost perfect to break that press the way LAFC was pressing, and San Diego was pretty much almost perfect the way they were playing. But they
might not be in the postseason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Postseason's different.
And that's the positives I'm taking from that match. Again, there's some games, and look, we've said it here on the show. We said it last week. We'll tell the truth. I'm actually feeling like we're building something towards the playoffs. Now you want to get the results. You gotta. These are not good results. LAFC will be the first to tell you that. The team from John Thornton on down. You can't lose at home. But I like and I see what we're building on here, that this playoffs is going to be interesting. This could be a very interesting postseason. Let's just say that. And I think there's stuff being good. Now, you also have to incorporate these new guys, continue to make sure Ryan Porteous keeps integrating with his teammates. He's looking good so far. Obviously, Son has to keep building that chemistry, no doubt. Have to have it. Nice little break here. I know he's going off on international duty, but it's nice to just everybody kind of take a break after all this hype, all this, it was good to get that home match right there before the international break. Okay, not the result we wanted, but all the hype is gone. Let's just get back to when we come back from this international break. Now we attack it, Mario. This is go time here. We're in the final stretch of the season.
Oh, yeah. And come playoff time, I think nobody wants to play LAFC at playoff time. I mean, no matter where LAFC is in the standings, LAFC and San Diego FC are going to be 2 dangerous teams in the Western Conference. And also Seattle Sounders as well. Seattle Sounders always, turn it up when they need to, in crunch time, in playoffs, in tournaments, when they get in deep into tournaments, as you see what they did in the Leagues Cup final against Inter Miami. They just know how to play in the big games. So the Western Conference is going to be very tough.
It is.
But there at the top, one of the most dangerous teams, deepest teams is LAFC. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully everybody is just healthy and in good form and just rolling right when that playoff time comes about.
I'll just this is a little tip from your Uncle Dave. It's going to be LAFC versus Seattle. It's just a matter of who's the higher seed to host the final in the Western Conference. Those are the 2 teams that get to the Western Conference final.
I like that. There's already a rivalry between LAFC and Seattle.
They're the 2 best in the West. Well. They're the 2 best teams in the West overall. And again, San Diego people are probably just spitting out their drinks right now and just freaking out. I'm talking playoffs here, okay?
Yeah.
When it comes down to the playoffs, no disrespect to San Diego, Minnesota. They're having nice, really great seasons. Those are the 2 best, and whoever has that higher seed is probably going to win the Western Conference final. It's just that simple. There's still everything to battle there, Mario. Good stuff. I got to tell you, I'm pumped. I'm actually more pumped talking to you and what you've, this, even after a loss, I'm actually more excited now going into the rest of the season. And some of the reason I am is because we looked back, Mario, and we got some of my favorite goal calls ready. Okay. There was a lot of off week. We don't have a game coming up. We want to take a little bit. Yeah. There's a lot of great goals, obviously, for LAFC this season, but I picked out 5 of my favorites, and I want to play them for you. These are all courtesy of 710 ESPN, of course, where you can hear the games, and LAFC. We appreciate them. And here are some of my favorites. Not in any particular, I mean, they're kind of in an order, but I love them all, and yet you'll see the order as it kind of goes, I think. This is the first one is from David Martinez. I make no bones about it. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Love his game. And this is a goal against Mazatlan, of course, relatively recently, late July, in the League's Cup. Here's what it sounded like.
Nicely done by Segura to get a touch of the 18 right to Frankie Amaya. He does a good job to break lines to Tillman. Tillman going to flip it forward, looking for the run of David Martinez. David flips it over the keeper to the back post. It bounces it in. Oh, what a goal! David Martinez! Are you kidding me? A golazo from the young Venezuelan. It's 1-0.
Oh, Mario, that was just a thing of beauty. And David was, I picked this one because it's my favorite from the League's Cup, where he was red hot, too.
Certainly he came out with the most confidence, right? In that game, I remember he was in the starting 11. He knew that that was his time to shine, and it was kind of his tournament, right? It was a heavily rotated lineup that night, and he took full advantage of that. He was cooking all game long. I remember I was getting texts, and I was texting people like, man, David is cooking tonight, and he definitely really exciting everybody that night.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Just a tremendous performance throughout that tournament, really, and kudos. I thought he was their best player overall, or, right up there. Certainly there was other guys who played very well, no doubt. But David Martinez just, it wasn't like a coming out party. Everybody knows how good he is, certainly around the league and even around Liga MX. But just a great performance, great goal there. One of my favorites, certainly anytime you score against your bitterest rival, there's no doubt it's going to be a big goal. Denis Bouanga, a little bit earlier than that goal against the David scored. It was only about 10 days earlier in July, mid-July, against the Galaxy. And, of course, the big game, the derby here, the LA derby. And here's what it sounded like Denis scoring against LA Galaxy in that match.
Gets it touched away by DeRozan, but wins it back. Back to Segura, still well up into the attack. 115th minute.
Oops.
Short ball there, Jesus, near midfield, out of Segura.
This is the one we score against Club America.
Nice run. Amaya,
okay,
top of the
that's a good one, too.
To Denis, shoots it in!
Oh, gorgeous.
Denis has scored! It's 2-1 LAFC! Oh!
Yeah, I mean, look, that's my favorite of the year. Not that I put them in any particular order, but that's the biggest goal of the year, obviously, right? I mean,
that might be one of the biggest goals in LAFC history, Dave.
Yeah,
I mean, the atmosphere that night inside of BMO was just electric, because it was like 50-50, maybe 60-40 Club America fans. They were rocking. They're doing their thing, making their noise. LAFC fans was drowning them out. 32-52 was loud as ever. And they needed something to explode, and Denis gave it to them for sure.
Gosh.
But the layoff from Giroud was amazing in tight space. Giroud was almost just like a wooden board that Denis just played the ball off of.
And he killed the ball, like he deadened it perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And it was just
amazing.
And just a goal that just, as Mario said, the whole place exploded, because we were just, every LAFC fan was just ready and because they remember, of course, we all know LAFC scored late to tie it in regulation. Yes. This, of course, is in 115 plus minutes, but LAFC had scored super late. With
Jesus with the tie on that one,
and all the best to Igor. By the way, we know what happened there with the injury. He'll be out for the rest of the year. We wish him nothing but the best. We love Igor. But that goal just from Denis, amazing. This is the goal from the Galaxy, which, again, anytime you score against the Galaxy, and Denis loves to do that, there's no doubt.
Only 35 from goal. Into the channel, Nascimento. Near the area, taken off the ball by Delgado nicely. Up to Denis. Flicks it towards Ordaz. It's behind him. But Denis runs onto it. He's got Ordaz on his left, but Denis streaking down the middle. Denis into the area. Denis shot it in! He scores! Oh, what a counterattack by Denis Bouanga. It's 3-1! He He's through the heart of the Galaxy defense and left them stranded there. A counter.
Yeah, that is truly one of my favorites, Mario. Not because of the obviously the Club America goal is maybe certainly bigger in terms of importance, but this was one of my favorite Bouanga goals of all his career. Just streaking through the Galaxy defense, it looked like the Galaxy defense had stopped, which they didn't. He was just that much faster than them and just blew by them. And you just knew there's times when you don't know if a guy's going to be able to finish, even on a breakaway. You still got to finish. Like, I knew this was a goal well before you heard me call the goal. Like, it was going in the back of the net. It was just unbelievable.
The pass from Ryan to curl that ball, rolling on the ground, curl it around the defender, right in stride with Denis, led Denis to the goal. Denis just opens up his hip, just he had the full look at the keeper and the whole goal and just whipped it right around. And what a finish, what a pass from Ryan Hollingshead.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of goals that Denis scored against the Galaxy that are, top notch, no doubt. And this one certainly fits right in as one of my favorites. Here's one of my favorite, kind of quietly, one of my favorite goals because it's a long time ago as these seasons kind of stretch on and drag on. But it's the very first match of the season, and it's the final.
Oh my gosh!
Nail in that
seems
game
like 7 years ago.
I know, but this was the game winner.
Defensive zone, nice square to Igor. Jesus back into the middle, finds Delgado. Denis making the diagonal run. Delgado feeds him with the outside of the foot. Denis, top of the area, 1v1. Tries to get around Harvey. Stood up momentarily. On the ground, Ordaz in the middle. To Abobasi, left-footed shot, and in! Goal, Jeremy Abobasi! Goal, LAFC! Jump for LA Football Club, ole! Ole!
First game for Jeremy Abobasi in black and gold. First game of the season. His first goal wins it 1-0 against Minnesota. As it turns out, a very good Minnesota United team this season. But what a night, Mario. Just felt good to get things going again.
What a way to debut for Jeremy Abobasi, of course. He's the ultimate pro. And when you put it on his left foot, the way Nathan Ordaz just had the right speed, the right power, just to roll it right there for Jeremy's left foot, and Jeremy, the way he curled that in there, it was amazing. And the place was ready to explode too, because that's the season opener, right? So, and the game was like in the 75th minute, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere towards the last 15 minutes of the match. So everybody was waiting for a goal. It was 0-0. The game was in the balance. And for Jeremy, the new guy, to come in here, make his debut with LAFC and hit the game winner like that late, the place erupted. Jeremy was pumped after that. It was awesome.
Yeah, just a great finish. And speaking of great finishes, we'll finish this little segment of my 5 favorite goals of the season with, again, they're in no particular order, but this one's right up there, no doubt about it. Son Heung-min's first goal for LAFC on a free kick.
Blows his whistle.
Beautiful.
Son over the ball. 5-man wall and a man underneath him. Son, here he goes. Approaches with the right foot. Shot over the wall and in! Oh, what a goal! Son Heung-min! Oh, what a free kick! It leaves Coloni stunned. It's 1-0.
Nothing he could do.
Utterly gorgeous. Yeah, nothing he could do. And yeah, I mean, Son was just thrilled with that, of course. He knew as soon as he touched it, I'm sure it was going in. And he was freaking out with his teammates. Such a great moment, Mario.
I just remember all the fans that were on their feet. Everyone had their phones out. Son is about to take the free kick. It was like if it was a home player, like he was one of their guys or something. But no, he was on the road, And then when he makes the goal and it rattles the back of the net, the place erupts like crazy. And then you see his smile, that Sonny smile that everybody knows and loves. It was just awesome. It was just awesome to get that first goal out the way for Sonny. First of many to come for Son Heung-min, of course.
Absolutely. And there's so many goals throughout the year. I'm just picking them that amongst the ones I love. LAFC, of course, have since day one, really. I mean, in 2018, we've been putting up goals that have just been spectacular all the way along. It's been such a great time doing the matches and calling those games, no doubt. Just a lot of good memories. Mario, let's go around the rest of the MLS here. And unfortunately, got some bad things to talk about, bottom line. But we're not going to shy away. This is the plus of LAFC Plus. And that includes the Leagues Cup final, which should culminate in what was an incredible tournament, in an incredible final. And on the pitch, sad to say, Seattle, who are more of a rival to us, I think, than Inter Miami, they played incredibly and won 3-0.
Yeah.
Just a great performance. You got to give them everything about that. Tip your cap to them. But then after the match, you hate to overshadow it because we do want to mention how great Seattle played.
Mm-hmm.
But what in the world's going on after that? I know there's a scuffle. I know the gentleman who was a Seattle, I believe he's like a security personnel or one of the Seattle personnel. I know he got mixed up in it and entangled it. But then Luis Suárez, come on. But the saddest part is, Mario, this doesn't surprise me from Luis Suárez, allegedly spitting on someone, like that's kind of what it looks like on the video, certainly. But what are you doing? I mean, what are we doing here? Like, this just cannot be.
How does he continue to commit these type of like criminal acts? I mean, you're spitting on people, you're biting people. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, this stuff is like criminal activity, I'm talking about instigating fights. And then, you're getting into it with the older gentleman, who you just don't do that type of stuff. And of course, people always say that, but people always say that sometimes winning, is the cure. Like if you make a bad mistake, you do something terrible like this, all of a sudden you start winning. Like if you're a celebrity, you make a hit song or you make a hit movie or something, and all of a sudden people start forgetting all that stuff that you've done, right? Sure. But that's not acceptable, especially after all these times that you keep doing these things. I mean, they got to come down on him hard. I'm talking about big fine. I'm talking about multi-game suspension from MLS. This is just unacceptable stuff. And then I have a son that's 10 years old. He looks up to all these guys, right? He doesn't look up to Luis Suárez, thank God. But a lot of kids do. A lot of kids are young, and they've only known Suarez from his time at Inter Miami or whatever. So they don't know all of the stuff he's done in the past. But now they're getting to know what type of player he is. Just dirty. This is not acceptable. Be more responsible. You have kids watching you. You can't be acting like this.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can take nothing away from the player he is. Of course. Yes. Everybody knows that. And that's, as Mario said, that's why he gets so many chances, too. I mean, unfortunately, he's that good. Like, he is that good.
He's that good.
A world-class player, always has been, always would be considered that on the pitch. But I got to be honest, this is only my opinion. I'm not speaking for LAFC here. I'm not speaking for MLS, obviously. Like, I don't really ever want to see him play again. Now, I know I'm not saying that he needs to be suspended I'm saying I don't want to watch him anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've had enough, and I started to even, because I used to talk about this. We used to talk about this years ago with the biting incidents and all that. Like, that, oh my gosh, I mean, once is too many. And then more, and then I started to kind of forget a little bit of that. And, as you watch him with Inter Miami, and he is that good, and just seeing him play with, I just don't want to watch him anymore. It's just, you can't, at some point, enough is truly enough. And again, I'm not calling for some lifetime ban. That's not what that's not in our purview. These things are, collectively bargained. All this stuff has to be a factor. I just don't want to watch him anymore because I can't separate it anymore. That's just unacceptable. Like, the thing about it is, it seems, and this again is me from watching him, even during matches, like all the things he pulls and everything, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem with all this. Like, again, this isn't just a one-time thing out of a 30-year career where he loses his head one time and you're like, okay, I mean, like you can kind of separate, not that the incident would be good, but it's a one-time thing. He lost his head, and yes, of course. But this is not like, there's a pattern here that you just can't.
This is who he is. I mean, you're not going to change him either. This is what's going to happen.
Might be the nicest dude in the history of the world away from football, but maybe it's time to go away from football. And like, you just at some point, enough, and that is the bottom line for me. And that's I've reached that point. I should have reached it a long time. I think I felt like I did, but then all of a sudden you're like,
I think that's the consensus around the world. I think everybody's fed up with this too.
I mean, come on.
All over YouTube, all over Instagram, you just see people's reaction, and nobody is, on his side. I mean, everybody is just fed up, and we are too here.
Yeah. And that was not Luis Suárez calling me during the show to yell at me by any means. So, But I mean, you just have to say it. And I think that's like, no duh, like we're not exactly breaking ground here with our opinions, but it's just where we're at. And I think that, as Mario said, that's where a lot of people are at in all likelihood. So tough way to end the show. We do have an international break, so that's a good thing. Let's end on a high note there. Let's take some time off. We saw Denis Bouanga already with one hat trick for Gabon in their World Cup qualifying. They're getting ever closer to qualifying for the World Cup, which will be here. How cool would that be, Mario?
Yeah,
Denis Bouanga
so cool.
helps lead Gabon over to the World Cup in the United States and Canada and Mexico.
They have a shot.
Can you imagine if they got in the group with the U.S. or with oh God, that'd be awesome to see.
I'd be so happy for Denis. He wants to be in there so bad, and to represent his country, that'd be awesome for Denis. Yeah,
I'm rooting for Denis like he is on the United States right now to make the World Cup. No doubt about it. So, we hope for that. And, of course, all the other players on the international break playing for their countries, we wish them health, safety, and, of course, hope they do well as well on the pitch. So, Mario, great stuff as always. Great show. A lot of fun. Appreciate it. Take us out of here, brother. It's been another great episode.
Of course, that wraps up episode 71 of LAFC Plus. Now, the next LAFC game, LAFC visits San Jose next Saturday. That's September 13th. That's going to be at Levi Stadium. Of course, they always do that, right, Dave? San Jose,
huge stadium
LAFC
for us.
is coming to town. Let's move this game to Levi Stadium.
Why do they keep letting that happen every year, by the way?
It's such an advantage for them. It's not even fair. But anyway, that game is going to be at Levi Stadium, LAFC visiting San Jose, September 13th. And that will be on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app. It's going to be following the USC football game, so make sure to tune in. Dave Denholm will be on the call. I'll be having some interviews. Thanks for joining us. This has been LAFC Plus. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.